For Indian Administrative Service, Provincial Services and other services in Geography subject, there are two papers. First paper is Geography of World. Second paper is Geography of India. Besides, in general studies, geography plays very important role, especially physical, human, economic, social, cultural and political aspects of geography. That's why Geography of India plays significant role in competitions, and it has two aspects. The first aspect is physical setting of the geography of India, wherein we will study a number of topics. The introduction of these physical settings are as discussed here. Topic number 1 in the physical setting of Geography of India is space relationship of India with neighboring state. Here, this is map of India and its neighboring countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan and Myanmar. So, how these are physically attached with India, that's its territorial relation will be studied here, not economic, social, political and cultural relations. Those relations will be discussed in the human and economic, cultural, political geography of India. Here we are concerned with the physical boundary that is being controlled by the topographic features, and here space relation does not mean that with reference to space means IRS and INSIDE relations are dealt with. The second chapter will be Geological History of India and the next will be structure. If we travel in India, here a number of structures means rocks are found. If we observe minutely this plateau land of India, here ancient granitic and basaltic Archean structures are found. Why? Because from Aravalli to Kanyakumari and from Gujarat, Junagadh to here Meghalaya, their rocks are very old, and these rocks in geological history resemble with the rocks found in Madagascar and in South Africa. It denotes that the main plateau land of India was geologically part of Africa, but geographically it moved north and it has become inseparable part of Asia. Thus, India consists of both Gondwana land rocks and Angara land rocks. It is the only country in the world which consists of Gondwana land rocks as well as Angara land rocks. There is no other country. Thus, geologically, India is museum of Angara land and Gondwana land. And how these ancient rocks originated, a number of folded mountains like Aravalli, Eastern Ghat, Vindhyachal, Satpura and Western Ghat came into existence. This will be studied in the geological history of India. And after its geophysical movement northward, Himalayas came out of Tethys geosyncline in the form of folded mountains having younger structure or rock in comparison to that in the plateau region, and the trench formed between this northern margin of Indian plateau and Himalayan region was later on filled with the sediments brought down the rivers from plateau land like Chambal, Betwa, Ken, Son, and the rivers from the Himalayan region like Ganga, Yamuna, etc. These filled the sediment in the trench. Thus, this northern plain came into existence. And as the Indian plate moved northward, this Aravalli mountain range came in contact with the Himalayan region, resulting into the genesis of Thar Desert. In the meantime, due to collision of this Aravalli with the Tibetan Plateau, the western part of India underwent crack, and the land to the west of this plateau, Deccan Plateau, submerged, resulting into the formation of the Black Mountain along the western margin of Indian Plateau. At the same time, Narmada and Tapti faults were developed. Thus, the geological history of India is very complex. Sometimes in UPSC, there are questions that arrange chronologically the formations or rocks of India. Then you will arrange that plateau came into existence first, then Himalayas, then Gangetic Trench or this Gangetic Plain, then Plateau region. Thus, these are the geological sequence of the formation or rocks of India. Next point is, while studying the formation of India, we will study the geophysics of India. Geophysics means how Indian plateau land fractured from Africa, moved northward, and the entire present landscape of India came into existence. And after that, we will study the structural divisions or rock divisions of India. Next chapter will be relief or topography or physiographic regions of India. Relief means the vertical irregularity from sea level. In India, there is peculiar topographic variation. If in the northern part there are very lofty, high, snow-clad mountain ranges, at the same time the southern plateau land is nearly flat and having a fracture and a number of valleys. At the same time, there is a flat and fertile Gangetic plain, and the northwestern part of India is topographically integral part of plateau land exhibited by the Aravalli, Bhorat Plateau, Marwar and Mewar Plateau. But climatically it is different. That's why pedologically here there is a sandy soil. That's why naturally it is independent region. But topographically this is part of this plateau land. That's why while studying the relief aspect, we will study Himalayan mountain range, plateau land, Gangetic plain and the east and west coast plain region are of different origins. West coastal plain is the result of marine erosion, and while the east coast plain is the result of deposition by a number of rivers draining from west to east. Thus, there may be a question to compare east and west coast region, their characteristic and their formation. And on this, there may be question on topography that India slopes from west to east. Discuss its cause, its evidence and impact. These questions have been asked related with topography, wherein you will show that due to plate tectonic, India tilted from west to east, the evidences of which are a number of rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. Thus, topographically or physiographically, India may be divided in 4 topographic or physical regions. Number 1, Plateau region. Number 2, Himalayan region. Number 3, Plain region. And number 4, this eastern and western coastal plain region. But naturally, India can be divided in 5 natural regions. These 4 means Himalayan region, 1 natural region, Plateau region is 2nd, Gangetic plain 3rd, eastern western coastal plain 4th, but 5th natural region is here Aravalli region or the Rajasthan desert region. Because there may be question that this Rajasthan is physically part of this plateau land, because the structural characteristics of plateau are found mostly in Rajasthan, but naturally Rajasthan is an independent region. Discuss it. Such types of questions may be asked in competitions. Next point is this drainage system. After studying the topography of India, we can reach the conclusion that drainage will start from which side. Here, topography has impact on the drainage. For example, Himalayan snow-peaked mountains have glaciers, and a number of glacial-fed rivers drain from Himalayan region to the Gangetic plain and Bay of Bengal. Likewise, whatsoever rain occurs in India, rain-fed rivers originate from the western part of India, are mostly along the highest peak along the Great Water Divide of India, and most rivers drain from west to east. And on the basis of these catchment areas, we divide India into drainage basins. For example, Ganga drainage basin, Brahmaputra drainage basin, Mahanadi drainage basin, which are demarcated on the basis of water divide, and on its basis drainage basin planning is done, as well as CCA cultivable command area is demarcated and irrigation policy decided. Thus, there may be question independently that how topography of India controls drainage. Thus, topography controls drainage, as well as drainage also shapes topography. Thus, you should be mentally ready that all these chapters are interconnected and interrelated. You cannot study these chapters independently or absolutely. Rather, you will have to synthesize all these chapters with cause-effect relationship. For example, take topography. Topography is related with all these chapters, with structure, with climate, drainage, and flood, drought, and this topography has impact on all the chapters of human and economic aspect of the geography of India. That's why here your approach should not be analytical, rather it should be synthetical. Now next point is watershed, that we have already discussed that India is divided in different watersheds on the basis of catchment area or drainage system. Now next point is mechanism of Indian monsoon. Most part of India is peninsular, and you are seeing that to the west of it is Arabian Sea and to the east Bay of Bengal. Here is monsoon type of climate which has two characters. Number 1, summer monsoon. Number 2, winter monsoon. In summer, the monsoon approaches India from two sides. That's why there are two branches. Number one, Arabian Sea branch approaching from west and Bay of Bengal branch approaching from east. Thus, entire India receives rain, and how this Himalayan region and Thar Desert plays vital role, it will be discussed here. There is other season, winter, which is being controlled by the western disturbance, the control room of which lies in the Jammu Kashmir or northwest India. And these western disturbances control the winter season air drainage, winter rainfall and other climatic conditions. Thus, Indian monsoon has very important role on its agriculture, industry, economy. These will be studied. But here in the mechanism of monsoon, you will relate this with the topography, and there may be questions that how Indian monsoon is the function of topography. In other words, how topography controls the mechanism of Indian monsoon. Here you will discuss that the western slope of Western Ghat mountain receives sufficient rain from the Arabian Sea, but to the east of West Ghat mountain it is rain shadow region. It means while studying the mechanism of monsoon or distribution of rainfall in India, you will take the topography in consideration because both are related with cause-effect relationship. Next point is rainfall pattern. There is spatial variation in the rainfall in India. For example, the western slope of Western Ghat mountain receives very heavy rainfall. Likewise, here in northeast India, sufficient rain, but the amount of rainfall decreases while we move from East India to West and from South India to North. This is caused by the topographic features mainly. Thus, there is spatial variation in rainfall or rainfall variability is considerable. That's why we will have its study. We will study it climatically, but its impact on agriculture, forest, soil and other economic aspects like industries. Thus, the rainfall pattern is affected by the topographic and climatic factors. In turn, this affects the other economic, social and human aspect of India. Next topic is tropical cyclone. It is integral part of the climate or monsoon in India. But a question may be that why the eastern coast of India or eastern India is frequently affected by tropical cyclone, not the western part of India. This you will discuss with global perspective that tropical cyclones generally move from east to west. That's why the tropical cyclones originating in Bay of Bengal move west, hit the eastern coastal states of India, while the western coastal states are unaffected. Thus, you will discuss the tropical cyclone, its origin, track and impact, and this is tropical cyclone that causes hazard and floods. Next point will be western disturbances, that we have discussed already that during winters the control room of winter season, western disturbance lies here in Jammu and Kashmir or say northwest India, and how western disturbances descend here in different phases and control the winter climatic conditions, meteorological conditions of India. This will be discussed in detail. And next point will be flood. The eastern part of India is flood prone, while the western part of India is drought prone. Why eastern part of India is flood affected? It has two causes. Number one, because tropical cyclones and summer monsoon generally arrive from the Bay of Bengal. That's why most of the rain occurs in the eastern part of India. That's why there is flood. Second point is that India slopes from west to east. That's why whatsoever rainfall occurs in the western part of India, that rainwater moves through surface flow and river flow eastward. That's why eastern part of India is flood affected. In the same way, how the drought affects the western part of India, this should also be discussed with cause and effect, wherein the topographic features and the climatic conditions should be kept in point. Here, Aravalli cannot cause heavy rainfall, and the eastern part of Western Ghat mountain is rain shadow. That's why Western India is generally dry or drought prone. After understanding its physical causes, we will have its planning aspect, because India suffers from two problems. One, the eastern India suffers from flood and the western part from drought. To combat these twin problems, the planners of India have developed an idea to interlink the rivers, or to carry surplus water of eastern India towards west by interconnecting the river or interlinking the rivers. That's why these physical phenomena generated by the climatic conditions affect Indian economy, society and planning. Hence, the new regional planning is needed. Next point is climatic regions. As we have seen that all the climatic conditions of world ranging from equatorial to polar are found in India. For example, equatorial type of climate in South India and tundra and periglacial in North India. That's why, although India is latitudinally not from equator to pole, even then, due to its position in tropical, subtropical and temperate region, it has all types of climate in world. And the credit of variation in climatic condition of India largely goes to Himalayan region and this Thar desert. This may be a question in UPSC. Next point is soil types. As we have studied in the beginning that all the types of soil are found in India, ranging from laterite soil found in equator. Laterite soil is found here in Kerala, in Meghalaya, to tundra, ice-covered and taiga, Paleozoic soil. The variation in the pedology is also due to the structure, topography and climatic conditions, and how this variation in soil affects the agricultural productivity of India. This will be studied here in soil with reference to agriculture, forestry and social forestry. Next point is natural vegetation. Here in India, all types of vegetations ranging from equatorial evergreen or semi-evergreen forest found in Kerala and Meghalaya to the polar and taiga coniferous forest found in the middle and greater Himalayas. and thus there is spatial variation in natural vegetation which supports the rich biosphere and biospheric resource. Thus, India is rich in this biosphere. This natural vegetation may be related with topography, soil, drainage, structure. Thus, in India, if there is any topic, it can be related with other topic, because in India or in world, in geography, all the topics are related with cause and effect relationship. That's why while studying all these physical chapters of India, you will focus on their cause and relationship. Especially these physical chapters have deep relationship and deep impact on the socio-economic environmental conditions of India. That's why you will study these topics physically interrelated, socially and economically interrelated.